Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Akshat Bahety and today we're going to cover how to use a Claude Code agent. We're going to cover what is an agent in Claude Code, how to build one and actually use it. So let's get started. Very simply, we're going to first come back to our VS Code. So here we have our Claude Code instance ready, and if you don't know how to switch this on, just simply go ahead and create a new terminal and search for Claude and you will enter into the Claude terminal itself. Now here I'm just going to say agents. We're going to put /agents, go and select the first option to create a new agent. As you can see, we have multiple options available here to all with already existing agents, but I'm just going to select create new. Now, right now, I'm going to look at a very simple agent and I only want this to be in my project. I don't want it to be everywhere. I just want it for this particular project that I'm building. And I'm going to select generate with Claude. That is one thing that you should do, that you should definitely just choose Claude to get started, because Claude has the format of what is the best practice on writing an agent and it's much faster also. So we're going to do that and I'm going to paste now here I'm inputting a simple agent prompt of what kind of agent I want. I want a bug fixing agent which looks at the user input and then make it sure that it looks at the relevant files, creates a bug fixing document and also solves the bug by making sure that it does not affect anything else. Technically does not create another bug while solving the bug. I've given it a couple of other instructions which I'll explain, and now it's going to start creating that particular agent automatically. Now, as you can see, it gives you an option to select tools. So there are multiple tools that we want, like, maybe you want some tools for it to have, maybe you don't want some tools for it to have. But for right now, we are just going to select all tools, because all of these tools, I want the agent to have complete access, because again, very simply, it's going to actually fix the bugs and it might need different tools at different times. Click continue. Then we get the option to actually choose a model. Now, this is pretty important. Most people don't think about this enough. So if you're creating an agent, you have the option to give it a specific model. In my case, I always tend to choose for a complex agent, you will go for the highest quality model available. That will be Opus here. And for agents which are like, again, for example, creating documentation, those agents can literally just be on Haiku, because very simply, the documentation is not going to be that complex as much as it's going to be to actually solve the problem, and you will save a ton of tokens. So here, given that it's bug fixing, I'm going to select Opus, and then I get to choose a beautiful color for my agent. So given that this is going to be a bug fixing agent, I'm 110% going to choose either red. I actually like pink color also, but probably I'm going to go ahead with the red this time. So you choose a color and I'll show you where it makes sense. Now, given that all of this is done, I'm just simply going to say, do I need an agent memory? Now, agent memory, and this is something that I'm going to explain to you in a second, is a specific place for the agent to remember everything about itself. It can update that memory, it can read from that memory, it can understand that memory and do all of those things. So here, technically, I'm going to give it again, give it access to its own memory so that it can actually refer back its conversations and learn from them. So I'm going to give that, and here we actually have a bug fixer agent created. So you can read it very simply. It has a name, it has the location, the tools, and the basic description, which we are going to see in a second. And I'm just going to press enter, and you can see a new agent is created. Just to show you where the agent is created from a file structure, we come here and we'll have agents. So you can see I have a couple of other agents. I will show them to you. But a bug fixer agent is here. And just to move this to VS Code, you can see it has a description, it has a model which it's going to use, the color, and the memory is going to be on project basis. So when I'm talking about, and then it has a specific explanation. You're a bug specialist, here is what you're going to do: understand, locate, analyze, and fix the particular bug. And then you'll create a document with the bug description. And then there are some rules, and then there are guidelines on how to actually use this. Now, one thing that Claude did not adhere to, that just making sure that it is only 40 lines. But right now, I'm fine to keep it as it is. Though even I don't like the description. This is pretty big, and I'm mostly going to again remove the examples, because the Opus model and the Sonnet model are pretty good at understanding what agent you are requesting to use. So we're good here. We have an agent ready, and the agent memory stored under the agent memory option. So every agent has its own file and folder. So you can see I have a couple of places which already have a memory, and now we are ready to go ahead and use it. Now, but actually to use it, I need to have a bug for this specific agent, and that's fine. I actually have one. Let me show that to you. So this is the project that we have been building. It's a wealth manager app, right? Again, I have a couple of things here, but you can see a bug right here on the screen. The chart on this does not look good, and I'm on a pretty widescreen setup, and this should be responsive enough like all the other things here. So I need to fix this chart and also the income trend. So let's see what we can do here. I'm simply going to input what I'm going to ask it to fix. So use the bug fixer to fix the pie chart in the dashboard for asset allocation. Right now it's completely not responsive and looks super small on the dashboard. Now again, as you can see, describing a bug can be difficult. That's why choosing an opus model here helps, because it technically will take and automatically start understanding what do I mean by this particularly. Now as you can see, it will start launching the bug fixer agent, and here we get to see the beauty of it. It's automatically going to a completely separate path, and it's not going to respond within our current chart. My current chart, the main conversation that I'm having, stays separate. The agent is working kind of in its own world, and that is where you need to understand that. So until they are actually fixing this, I'm going to just let it be. I'm actually going to bring you how does an agent function. So very simply, this is what is super important, and how does a sub agent make so much more sense in Claude Code and gives it the superpower. So here you have the main chart, right? Know that we have a context issue. So whenever you are thinking about the conversation that I was just having, and I give it, and there is a limit to the amount of information that particular chart can hold. So if I started sending it images, I started sending it PDF, the context window will really start filling up very quickly. And what happens is, if the context window is full, the agent's quality starts deteriorating literally as more the context grows. So the more you give it input, the more quality gets. But what happens is, if you keep continuing in a single chart, the context keeps getting filled, and it does not have enough information about what you started talking about, and hence the quality of the output keeps reducing the more you talk to it in the same conversation. So if you see here, I have a conversation that I was having with Claude, and if I just select you to context, you will see that I have already used the context here. And very quickly I will run out of I just asked it to do a couple of things, and it ran out of 25% of the context, and you can see where it is getting split. But that's the problem here, that the more I talk to it, the context will get filled up. Agents actually solve this problem by kind of running in their own context. So they have a completely separate context from my main chart, and that adds a lot of value, because then I can just give it an instruction and give it, literally you're assigning and delegating a task to someone. It's like delegating a task completely separately, where a sub agent, think of it as a manager. You have someone that you're assigning a complete task to, and they're going to figure it out by themselves. They have a set of instructions and a set of skills that they can use to figure out that task. But once you've given them the instruction, they can kind of independently work. And that is the most important concept that you need to remember. Let's come back to the demo. So if you can say, it is asking me, and I'm just going to say allow everything, because again, very simply, it's fixing bug and it's a test project, so I'm going to be a bit more lenient here. You can restrict tool permissions, and you can also restrict how much it will be allowed to edit. But here the agent looks pretty simple, and will be able to just go ahead and build it all in one shot. I really do think that the agent is the best way to think about one-shotting your problems, given that I just give it a prompt and it will now go ahead and solve everything that it needs to do. And as you can see, it has actually created the solution file also. So I believe that the agent is actually done, and you can see the actions that it's happening. So let's see, we're going to get a response in a couple of seconds, and it took roughly 4 minutes to run that. You can see there the bug has been fixed. Here is what was wrong and what has changed. So we see that the bug is fixed. Actually, let's go ahead and test it. And you can see here automatically, given that we are on the server, it refreshed, and you can see the bug has been fixed. Though there is another small mini bug that it did not fix, is like the way the text is rendered, but at least the core bug has been fixed and looks pretty good. And that's the idea. Like, I did not have to describe it. I created a single agent. Now I can ask it to fix any bug that we need. And as you can see, we actually were able to do this. Now I'm going to show you quickly another agent demo, so you understand that you can have multiple agents running at the same time. So now, as you can see, we have this UI here, but there are a couple of things that are missing. So the overview does not bring anything separate than home, or like the budget tracker is there. I have a couple of pages that are not fully created. So you see the funds page here on the left hand side does not exist. So I'm going to go and ask the UI designer agent to actually create the funds page and make sure that we can add investments like fixed deposit and gold. That's it. That's my prompt, and I'm going to just again ask it to run that particular agent separately. And while that is happening, so what I'm going to do is I split the terminal, and I'm going to start another agent which is going to fix the income trend chart. So you see this again on the home page, this looks super big, and we're going to press enter, and we'll start using that. And you can see here that I already have the UI integration designer has built it. So I'm going to say yes and don't ask again. It's going to start. So you can see both of the agents are working parallelly, and the best part is that again they are all have their own instructions and they can keep running together. But as you can see, both of the agents are running, and I'm waiting to just see the responses. But while that is happening, while both of the agents are running, I actually want to show you how to write a quality agent code. So there are 4 steps that I believe that you should always use to write a very good agent. First, use Claude to create. Don't try to write it manually. You will make a lot of mistakes. You will not be clear with your instructions. Just make sure to use the same format that I did and give Claude a very detailed prompt. Second, be very clear with make sure that your agent is focused on specifically one thing. Like it should have, okay, it's a bug fixing agent. It does this, this, this. If you have a different process of fixing bugs, tell that to it. Don't ask it to imagine it. Be very, very specific with that. Add skills if needed. So if I show you the agent here, very simply on the UI integration design, I have some skills that we created for them. So for example, scanning UI patterns, adding a page, and checking UI build. These 3 skills exist for the agent to use whenever it wants. Maybe for bug fixing, it could be that it reads the logs of everything that has happened. If it is something that's live, like a backend error is coming in, it can see, okay, where am I getting this error? So it could be depending on your use case, but you can add skills to that. Very simply, you will have skills file here, and those skills can be referred automatically by the agent. So that helps it in the long run. And then finally, define a length. Like the way I said that, make sure that the file is 40 lines, because Claude is just like, again, one thing that I've been deliberately trying to make sure that it understands that don't write 2 pages worth of agent dialogue, because it will again cause issues in the context. So as you can see, we have the UI integration designer on the left hand side. As you can see, the bug fixer is done. So let's see if this works, and that's pretty amazing. You have the income trend properly aligned now, and then you have the total income summary here, pretty good. And then let's see if we did get a fund tracker. So if I click on funds, you can see this page that did not exist is actually existing now. It's a fixed deposit and HDFC, and we can add, let's say, $1,000. I'm just going to select a date. Did it add a date picker? Perfect. Yes. And I'm just going to put this and just click add, and you can see it worked perfectly well. So again, given that it was able to do this in one shot is because the agent was very clear, the instructions were clear, and everything was able to happen. And that's all you need to do to run a perfectly workflow of just using agents in your Claude Code to get the job done. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a complete Claude Code series on actually building with Claude Code. This is episode 3. So if you want to watch the whole series, there are going to be links here and you can go ahead and check them out. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. It helps you out a lot. Till then, have a happy building session, and I'll see you in the next one.